How did China come to possess one of the greatest wonders the world has ever seen to date? China, the country famous for their traditional paintings, expensive jade and porcelain, is the land that hosts a mind-blowing wonder. The wonder that protected the land from the barbaric nomads, the Great Wall of China. No other country had something as grand and vast as the Great Wall to protect their lands back in the day. The wall towers and meanders from the snow-covered desert in the west to the Yellow Sea and is over 30 miles long. Over 3,000 years ago, the Chinese masterminds worked so well to fortify their boundaries. It worked out in the favor of the culture-rich country to be freed from the fear of collapsing in the hands of the enemy. The wall that adorns the serene mountains and ice desert wasn't the plan made by a regular person. The king who wanted to protect his era and keep the Qing dynasty intact came up with the idea that made China all his. Many kings have established their reign in the wonderful land, yet it was one ruler who made sure the country's boundaries were not vulnerable: Qin Shi Huang. The first ever emperor of China who established his reign during 221 to 206 BC had contributed a lot to China's development. Out of all, the Great Wall of China will be remembered forever. The artistic elements, the components of the wall. The first emperor wasn't solely the one responsible for creating a worldly wonder. All the dynasties until the Qing dynasty have fortified their boundaries, but it was Qin Shi Huang who united it to create the biggest military defense the world has ever seen. Over 15,000 years before the Great Wall was constructed, China began the defense strategy. The predecessors had built something similar to protect their territory as a culture and tradition. The Ming dynasty spent almost 276 years constructing wide paved turreted walls and added towers to it. And these towers were then used as troop highways to cross the rough terrain. Although it is considered as a national symbol and a tourist site now, the wall had been the greatest warrior that protected the Chinese lands from northern invasion. China was blessed with fertile land, and they could grow crops at higher rates than what was sufficient. Meanwhile, the Mongolians of the northern invaders were struggling with growing crops, and the crop season didn't last long. Chinese poets and painters always spread words about the beauty of the wall that towers on the tough terrain. Have you ever watched the Disney movie Hua Mulan? In the movie, it's seen that the Huns attempted to breach the wall to attack. However, it was found by the guards and soon the information spread out. And that's entirely true. The wall had a great role in transmitting information about invaders and probable attacks. The ancient highway was used for the troops to easily reach the borders and strengthen the protection. As we know, transportation wasn't so smooth during the ancient times. The troops had to take lengthy detours while crossing mountains, ridges, and rivers. This tired out the army men and was a disadvantage the country had to face for a long time. However, the beacon towers and the highway just made things a lot better. Tens of thousands of watchtowers stood guard for centuries, but building the wall was not as easy as a process as we might think. The super strong clay bricks have kept the wall strong through many decades and seasons. The wall is almost 2 stories high and even has all the arrangements built to shoot at the invaders and send in reinforcements. Building the wall was as tiresome and difficult as building a new city itself. The builders had to find the weakness and take care of the environmental changes as well. China still remembers all the help they had through the ancient pathway, and a sentence in the national anthem is sung, in fact, to praise and treasure the value the wall has in their life as a citizen. We can definitely call it a magnificent man-made wonder. Whenever we hear the word China, what comes to mind? Let us know your thoughts on this in the comments section. It's the Great Wall for us. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the post notifications.